So this morning was the big morning at Universal Orlando. It was the first day of annual pass holder previews for the Jurassic World VelociCoaster. I got to ride this morning. I'm going to share my thoughts with you here in this video. Long story short, I love the ride. This thing's fantastic. Starting off with the queue experience here. The queue, it's okay. It's not Universal's best work. It's not their worst work either. Felt very similar to like the Transformers queue. And kind of industrial, futuristic-y. Love the raptors and the dinosaur statue here. Also, the queue not overly large. So if a full queue, unless you're in that outdoor extended portion, won't be too long. And I love this, giving you safety information. Mr. DNA, that was a nice touch. And throughout the queue, you will see different videos from the stars of the films, sort of telling you about what your raptor experience is going to be, and the animals, the roller coaster, the chasing. You also get some cool Easter eggs to the stars of the original Jurassic Park films. Now, they do have a couple of animatronics in the queue right before the lockers, and they're neat. They're well done. I mean, there's very limited motion there, so it's nothing mind-blowing. Probably to the same level of like the goblins over at the Gringotts Bank. Now, Jurassic World VelociCoaster, unlike some of the other rides at Universal, the lockers are not before you get into the queue, but they're really right before you get onto the ride. So you take everything with you. You could have your phone in the queue, then you put it pretty much right before there's a little bit of queue, and then you go right into the station and you get on the ride. And here is the ride itself, kind of a ride of two halves. The first half is what I like to call the pretty half. As you can see, you don't launch too overly fast, and it goes right into two back-to-back inversions. Both of them give you some good hang time kind of floater moments. And this half, it's much prettier. There's rock work, waterfalls, dinosaur statues. This hill coming up right here, that one, I rode in row 11. The airtime was fantastic back there. That was my favorite part of the first half of this roller coaster, easily. But the first half, it's very pretty, a little bit on the slower side, but it rides faster than it looks, I guess you could say, as all the near-miss elements and stuff like that makes this ride feel much faster. And that's when you hit that second launch to go over towards the top hat. So the first half, very good. Very much, this half feels like Terron at Phantasialand, with the rock work and the near misses and a lot of the track going over and over itself. And I'm a big fan of Terron. You also could see the waterfalls and that rockwork structure here. Definitely the pretty half of the ride. Now, when you get to the second half of the ride, that is the more crazy, intense roller coaster portion of the ride. You get a big giant top hat, and it does look like it crawls over that top hat, but man, in that back row, you get some good airtime. I rode in 11, so I wasn't all the way in the back, but you get some really good airtime there. And then as it comes around these bends, if you watch this turn, that one there, you get a little bit of airtime there, very similar to like the high five element on West Coast Racers. And also a big surprise for me was the ending, this finale, this drawn out barrel roll. It is wild. Like, it's a really, really wild element. You feel like you're going to fall right into the lagoon. Overall, VelociCoaster, home run for Universal. I absolutely loved it. I'm lucky enough that I've been on 694 roller coasters, and this thing, I think it's a top 10 ride. I think I'm going to slot it in right around number 7 or so, but it is absolutely fantastic. Home run for Universal. I loved it. I can't wait to ride this thing all the time, which I'm sure is not going to be too possible because it's going to have super long lines. And just so many elements on this thing. That upside down stall was a lot of fun. I will say the one element I was a little bit disappointed in was that twister hill where you go from one helix to the other. I thought that was going to be really insane. Just ended up being pretty good. And but overall, great ride. Can't wait to go back. One minor complaint: there's really not a lot of show elements on the ride. I was expecting maybe some dinosaur animatronics, something like that. You do get a little bit of a show scene before the first launch with some projections, but show-wise, it's really, you got to go and think that this is going to be a roller coaster and not a themed attraction, because it's really what you're getting. But overall, man, well done, Universal. I can't wait to get back and ride this thing all the time. If you have any questions or comments about VelociCoaster, let me know in the comments section below, and thank you very much for watching this video.